I'll talk about the price of ZBCN very soon, but I'll first start off with this, even though nothing I say is financial advice, because supposedly one of the biggest focuses for Zebec in 2026 is allegedly usable infrastructure for institutions. And where does that all start? Supposedly, I think it's going to have to be when it comes to the super app, because again, Simon was a part of a podcast very recently. Simon, by the way, is the CEO of Zebec. But again, Zebec does highlight in this post by saying how one of their biggest focuses this year is simple: usable infrastructure for institutions. They say how, alongside partners like, for instance, Alio, amongst others, they say they want to bring it all together in the Zebec super app. So again, I think it all starts there. And keep in mind, the super app is just days away at this point. We're literally less than a week from the supposed launch of the Zebec super app, because it's planned for the 25th of February. And again, we're less than 7 days away from that. Besides that point, one of the focuses when it comes to the super app, I feel like, is to consolidate a lot of the stuff or a lot of the aspects of Zebec, right? Like, for instance, the cards and the payrolls and all this. And again, if their goal is for usable infrastructure for institutions, they care about simplicity. They care about the ease of use, right? And I think it all starts there, because the super app, I just think, arguably, at least in terms of the concept, is going to make things a lot more simple and just consolidates, basically a lot of the aspects in one place. So I think that's key right there. While I have seen some altcoins slightly recover, not a lot, like just a little bit basically, but besides that, ZBCN is still around 47.5 times lower than 10 cents. So it hasn't really done much since my last Zebec video. But you know what? The team is still there when it comes to Zebec. The CEO hasn't given up. So do I want to give up? The answer is no. No way. I'm not going to be doing that, because sure, it may not sound like a good thing as of right now, ZBCN being this low, but really, in the grand scheme of things, if we take a look at, for instance, if ZBCN just went to the market cap that it achieved back in August at one point in 2025, that right there, right, at that point, the market cap was around 500 million. Right now, we're at a market cap of around 215 million. So we're over 2 times lower than that. That was just back in August. That's the thing. Back in August, again, right? Not even a year ago. So the thing is, if ZBCN just went back to that point, like, that right there is already pretty impressive, at least to me. We've already seen ZBCN reach around a 500 million market cap without an altcoin season. So what happens if it just goes back there? That's the thing. ZBCN still has slightly over 90,000 holders, by the way. I just don't want to be the one that leaves, personally. And keep in mind, ZBCN is currently ranked 131st in the world in terms of market cap within this space. Is this something that's going to be easily forgotten about? I highly doubt it, personally, for me, but we'll wait and see, because some people are saying, oh, this 500 ranked project is going to make it. This 623rd ranked project is just randomly going to make it. Okay, if they're going to make it, why can't this one, though, right? This one, compared to some other projects out there, is way more popular, has a lot more holders, and it's actually ranked, like, within that top 150 range. So at the same time, yeah, I just don't want to leave. This is personally my mindset. Zebec, by nature, right, it's not really reinventing the wheel, in my opinion, but at least it's doing something. Like, for instance, focus on payrolls, focus on the cards, focus on global trade and finance. Nothing really that groundbreaking, but I think sometimes there is some amazing things in simplicity. Because when I take a look at, for instance, some other projects out there, they have a lot of aspects, but it just doesn't feel that simple, right? A lot of them try to overcomplicate things. But even though, arguably, people like to say, oh, Zebec's a little bit overcomplicated, I don't think about it that way. But even if that is the case, after February 25th, I feel like it's going to be a completely different case, probably, because if they have the super app and they're able to consolidate a lot of their aspects in just one place, basically, it's going to make it more simple. So it's already kind of simple right now, arguably. But beyond February 25th, it's arguably going to even be more simple, right? So I do like the direction in which Zebec is heading, because while a project being difficult to understand, even though that may seem cool in the beginning, eventually people are going to get tired of that. It's like, for instance, buying a convertible. It's cool for like 2 weeks. Then what happens? It's like, oh wow, why did I get a convertible? It's expensive. It's very loud inside. It's like, what am I going to do with it? Sometimes that's kind of the vibe. I don't like projects that kind of believe in this convertible sort of mindset where they try to overcomplicate things. I like it when the project is just a bit more practical, right? It's like buying a Toyota RAV4. Do I really need any more than that? That's the thing, right? That's already like the perfect SUV in my perspective. Or like, a Model Y, which is, I think, pretty cool, but it makes sense, right? Model Y, RAV4, they're pretty much everywhere. It's like the simple ones sometimes that have a lot of attention. So when I like Zebec, I like the direction in which they're trying to go. They're trying to make things more simple. So yeah, I just don't want to give up when it comes to Zebec personally. I mean, sure, ZBCN as of right now, again, around 47 and a half times lower than 10 cents. But if we take a look at, for instance, just if I say this figure right here, a 9.8 billion market cap, does that sound like such a ridiculous figure? Maybe at first glance. But if we consider Dogecoin reaching over 80 billion back in 2021, Shiba Inu reaching around 40 billion, BNB even back in 2021 at one point reaching over 100 billion. Like, is around 9.8 billion something so ridiculous if arguably the project is top 5 within the space of global trade and finance within the space? In which case, global trade and finance within this space is a historically pretty robust market, right? We saw Ripple and Stellar make it through a lot of nonsense, and they're still here as of right now. But the difference is ZBCN hasn't really experienced a true hypothetical altcoin season in my perspective. And I think that beyond something like Ripple and Stellar, I think we haven't really seen projects beyond that really experience mainstream attention yet in terms of the alternatives beyond that in a massive way. So what happens, right? If suddenly during a hypothetical altcoin season, people are like, okay, why is there only two major options when it comes to the space of global trade and finance? Why is it only Ripple and Stellar? Imagine if they start moving on to other projects and it starts trickling down to an XDC. Then eventually after XDC it goes to like ZBCN or XCN or something like that. So again, is around a 9.8 billion market cap so ridiculous? To me, it doesn't hypothetically feel that way for something like ZBCN, which again, it would have that market cap considering current circulating supply at 10 cents, hypothetically. If ZBCN does do something, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me, even though this is all just a hypothetical scenario. I do not know the future, right? I can only control myself, but I'm still going to be waiting because I still like Zebec overall. I still like the fundamentals, and I just feel like within the global trade and finance space, historically, only two projects have really experienced mass scale attention, which is, again, Ripple and Stellar. What happens if there suddenly becomes this big narrative for the alternatives? That right there is when ZBCN could really spread its wings because it was there the whole time. It was preparing to catch the wave, not chase the wave. So this is why I want to stay patient as well. I don't want to chase later on. I want to stay patient and prepare. That's it. That's why I'm dollar cost averaging once a month. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but this is just my outlook currently. And I think what I saw recently when it comes to Zebec really highlights their priorities, and I think it highlights their focus moving forward. So I do like that. However, I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you all have a very nice day. It's been me, the Captain, and I'll see y'all on the next video because I'm going to be making more updated videos when it comes to Zebec, so hopefully y'all stay tuned for that. I'm out. Peace. Bye.